Good morning. Welcome to Shiva YouTube. Iyun. Today we're doing Masechah Shabbos, Perek Yud Zayin, Mishnah Beis and Gimel. Mishnah Beis and Gimel really talk about a kli shemalachta l'isser, normally like a hammer or a shovel or a hoe or an axe. These things are used to cut the ktsira, harisha, to plow your field, to cut down trees, malachas, right? Commercial projects you're doing. They're not allowed to do this on Shabbos. However, to use them, take a hammer and knock open even though normally you use it for binyan, to knock nails into your wall, to build things, nonetheless, you could use it to crack open a pistachio. No, that's really difficult to open, or a walnut. You're allowed to do these things because even though the kli shvachtel isra is muksa, sarah kufa sarah mukom mutter. Now, what does this mean? Why is muksa asra, and why is sarah kufa mukom mutter? So, just a general introduction to muksa. Muksa doesn't mean, a lot of people think it means I'm makset midaita. I consciously think that I don't want to use these things on Shabbos. Things which are normally used, these Mishnayos talk about things that are used for plowing, are used for harvesting, are used for building, right? So they're commercial items. So the reason muksa is aser is because the reason all malachas are aser is because you're supposed to rest on Shabbos. You're not supposed to engage in business-like activities. So therefore, they extended midrabanan that any items, articles which I use for my business, right, activities, I shouldn't be allowed to touch on Shabbos or move them on Shabbos. Because if I move them on Shabbos, it's likely that I'm going to start engaging in commercial business-like activities, right? So on one hand, it's a gzeira. I might come to do a malacha, right? So, and it's also a second aspect, which the Rambam talks about, which is part of the resting, right? Even if I take, right, a hammer and I don't plan on using it to knock in nails, right? The fact that I'm moving it around, it already feels like a work day. It feels like a work day. I'm able to move them around. So therefore, they said muksa, things which are used primarily for business-like activities, should not be allowed to even move on Shabbos. However, they made an exception if it's sarah kufo makomo, because if it's used, you're taking the hammer to crack open a nut so you can eat on Shabbos. It's a personal use. So when I pick it up, I have in mind that I'm using it for personal use, or I'm going to use an axe, right, to cut a fig cake, right? So even though they normally use for commercial uses, once I have in mind, right, this would be the difference. And if I picked it up, I didn't have in mind, so that, right, it would remain muksa. It's only because when I picked it up, I had in mind to use it for my personal use, not a commercial use. So therefore, there's no gzeira. We might come to use it for commercial uses, for our business-like purposes. And also, it's not a problem of ruining the sanctity of Shabbos, the restfulness of Shabbos, because say I had in mind when to pick it up. So therefore, it's for sarah kufo makomo, for its place, because I need the space, or I need to actually use it for, to cut open, to crack open a nut. So therefore, it's a personal use, and it doesn't ruin the sanctity of Shabbos. According to this, what I'm saying, right, if you picked it up with the wrong intention, you'd have to put it down right now. Right? You can't change your mind in the middle. It's all because when I picked it up, I had in mind already to use it for things that were personal uses and not business-like uses. We'll talk more about this going forward. I hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.